Hey there, Adrienne Elise here. Welcome to the Gaia Daily for July 12th, 9th through 12th. um, wow, what powerful energy today as we move into the new moon in Cancer energies. What a new moons are always a new start, but very powerful messages here and energies as we've just had for this last week and a half. We've had the influence of Mars in T square with Saturn and Uranus, and then Venus. Now, Venus is exactly square Uranus just a couple of days ago, exactly opposite Saturn. The interesting thing is that, like we talked about, Mars came into the T square, Venus came into the T square. This is our personal planets, our masculine and our feminine, coming into this generational change energy, this shift of ages, this big turning point for humanity. And so we've been feeling the Saturn square Uranus, how to build in this new age, how to move into the new energies. What is the revolution we need? A revolution of wealth and our relationship to the physical form. And self-worth. And so much of this is coming up right now with Venus, opposition with Saturn, and then now this exact square with Uranus for this new moon. But interestingly enough, Saturn and Uranus have been close here for the last couple of months, but just as this exact square happens to Uranus, Saturn and Uranus are coming out of their square. They're going to come back into that square in December for the third and final pass of this. So it's a full year transit that started in February. So what's been coming up for you over this last week or so has been about, it kind of is a reflection of that time and the eclipses, the greater conjunction that happened at the end of last year. And it's like, okay, so what does this mean? What are we doing? How do we roll forward? How do we do this? What's happening? And we're getting a huge message as Venus sits here in this exact square to Uranus. And we are having an upgrade in the self-worth of the feminine. At the same time, we've got Black Moon Lilith at the end degrees, 29 degrees Taurus. Now, at the end degrees of a sign is like a mini bloom of the energy of the sign. And this is like, okay, such powerful messages about the feminine and that we don't get to move forward into this Aquarian age while that feminine in each of us is held down in programming and low self-worth. Some idea that the female, masculine, feminine's the dark and, yin yang, right? We have this duality, but the moon, the energy of the moon in our sky, which we know is kind of, it's artificial, right? Still affects us though. And there's this dark side of the moon. This is what Black Moon Lilith is. It's the furthest out that the moon gets away from the earth. So it represents the deep, dark secrets. And that has to do within each of us with the feminine, our intuitive side, right? Now, Black Moon Lilith coming to the very end of Taurus is this kind of excavation of that dark side of the moon, everything that's kept our intuitive side. When we talk about for supernova souls coming into your full expression, this bigger self, this bigger potential, that can't happen if it all that bigger potential has so much to do with your intuitive gifts that you probably don't even know you have, except for that maybe you're super sensitive and, overly empathic, right? But that's what we need to get into our full expression. Right? We got to pull the feminine out of this idea that she's in the dark, and that one masculine overpowers the feminine. We have matriarchal societies and we have patriarchal societies, and one has to be over the other. And this war of the sexes, this represents the whole bullshit lie of this whole reality, that the illusion of separation. And this astrology is inviting us to reach up out of all those paradigms in a very powerful energy, because right after today's new moon, we're already feeling it, but we're going to begin to see in the night sky, Venus and Mars coming together into a conjunction, and in the sign of Leo. After both of them took their turn in this epic change, astrology of epic change and revolution, a revolution around our whole idea of what physical form is. And so now Venus and Mars coming together in their equal light, and Leo both shining. More is more, and it's speaking to the sacred marriage between the masculine and the feminine, healing everywhere. It's healing self and other. It's healing black and white. It's healing different, we have been, as humans, controlled by, the main energy that keeps us controllable and controlled has to do with this divide and conquer agenda, right? And it's like, then we're pulling this whole race war thing. And we did that in the 60s, remember? That was all contrived and controlled too. Like, come on, right? We are being told and programmed to, I saw a sticker the other day that said, just 2 words in all block letters: fight and hate. So is this what we're proclaiming? Because that's a lot of fight and it's a lot of hate you're proclaiming. And we're like tricked into thinking that that's a moral, we're proclaiming our morality and we have to condemn. It's like, it's all brings us back to condemning the other. And this is the only thing. It's the great divide, right? Keeping us in that divide and conquer agenda of these control energies that have funded both sides of every war. Then gone with the winner and stole what the loser has and started all over again, right? And who's out there fighting it? Who's out there paying for it? Our life force. And enough is enough, right? And so this astrology is so beautiful because it's like Venus and Mars coming together in a visible way, speaking, like bringing us back to the, this energy of the epic greater conjunction that happened in December that we could see visibly in the sky, and it's like, they're coming together in their light. There's not a competition. You shining doesn't take away from me. One doesn't have to be over the other, right? This hierarchical outer power structure, right? This is like, reach up. Humans, we live in a narrow, confined reality. And we've been going along with this program for far too long. But supernova soul, you fully know, and this has been your whole problem, that there's just so much more. There's so much more to you. And this astrology is inviting us to reach right up out of that delusion of separation. Everywhere we have been beating ourselves up, hating ourselves, feeling like we didn't do it right, and failure, all these stories from past lives. And that somehow there's this, it's like, so in the divide and conquer agenda, those souls never, humanity doesn't have, it's like being blinded to the real enemy, which is the control. And so we're being invited to reach out above this. New moon in Cancer, just opening a new start just to compassion and love and connection. This is what's going on for supernova souls. You can feel the energies are changing. And this is so much about you being able to receive a feeling of safety and security and presence and rightness. I'm at the right place at the right time. I'm supported in this experience. I am held. I'm working with the energies rather than fight upstream the way we've been programmed to. Going backwards, right? Look at history. We're just in the loop. And that bad software is breaking down because what's going on right now, the other thing is that this is the very end today of the influence of that Mercury square Neptune. But we felt that for like the influence started about 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago of Mercury moving into Gemini, moving into retrograde shadow, and bringing a huge rearranging to our psyche, right? And it's like, whoa, our examining of our reality. And a lot of people waking up, even though it doesn't look like it, but a lot of people going, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. We live in a world of, everything is based on absolute lies. Everything you see on the news is a lie. Our history books, lies. Science, lies. The financial system, manipulation and control and lies and deception. So this is the deal, right? So Mercury square Neptune is like deception, confusion, like what's going on, right? And so confused, like this is how it's like, you're being manipulated when you're like, can't figure out. It doesn't make sense and you can't figure it out. And it gets so overwhelming to your brain that you just go, whatever. And this is like most of humanity with reality right now, right? But it's like, if our whole world and our whole reality right now is based on deception, and now we're having a bloom of that energy, this influence coming off Mercury square Neptune is like, okay. And this is where humanity's at. At the same time that we're being invited up out of duality consciousness into this greater, wider expression of the divinity within us through the sacred marriage of Mars and Venus coming together in this perfect balance, this divine union. At the same time, there's this, so as we evolve in our consciousness, you've seen this in your own life, and I know you can feel this, even though shit's so weird right now. But there comes a point when, say, in a situation where you are being manipulated or narcissist relationship, and there comes a time when you can't not see the lies, right? And so much of who you've been as a supernova soul, like throughout your incarnations, and especially the Piscean age, was about showing up in authenticity and truth, challenging the corruption and the lies. And then you became the problem and you became targeted. And so, but right now, there's this point when you can't have any lies, right? Like, doesn't it make sense that our spiritual evolution, if we, continuing, we can feel the rapid acceleration, right? It's like that discrepancies and duplicities will be revealed, and it's that place where it's like the mask falls off of the narcissist. And this is where we are in our reality right now. If we're going to continue to evolve on any level, it just means more and more transparency and truth. The Aquarian age, you can't take that deception and shit lies into. This is our whole problem. The Aquarian age represents technology and the misuse of technology and the proper use of technology that's in alignment. And so the technologies that are being used against us, misused against us, can only be misused against us as long as we don't know that they're there. We've got this alien technology that's everywhere in our world and being used to control us with this electromagnetic grid. And yet that information of that technology is withheld from us. So as long as it's withheld from us, it can be used to control us. And this is the Aquarian age. Like, we can't take that deception. We have to have a full disclosure of autonomous humans aware on a full level of our true history, our true science, and about this technology and the power. See, the reason why they want to suppress this technology so much is that it's available right here in our very own body. In Atlantean time, when this whole story started, we were using this technology, but with external devices. And we were it was part of the control, right? Like, oh, you need this, and you have somebody's permission, and you have to be trained, and you have to go through, make your obligatory contractual loyalties in order to access this technology, right? And that's how it all started, because the message is that, like, we got it all within us. evolution of the spiritual human and as an advanced soul on this earth right now, there's so much more to you. Supernovas, like, you are just so much, all of us, humanity in general, but you have a soul memory of working with this technology. And so it's a really interesting time. And this Venus-Mars conjunction is just like lifting us up out of the dark doldrums, hopeless lower grid vibration, and like into this wider expansion and celebration of our spiritual self through this divine union. This is a completion of the Venus retrograde and Mars retrogrades that happened last year. And that all started back, we started feeling that like in May of last year. And so we've got, whoa. And so now there's been a healing on the masculine, the feminine, and very much represented by this Black Moon Lilith coming to the end degrees of Taurus. It's like, girl, pick yourself up. In order to stay safe in these times that we were targeted as the truth and the light, we learned to play small. And everyone around you, unfortunately, they don't realize it and they don't mean to. But for the most part, a lot of people around you from this life and other lifetimes has been about reminding you to turn that light down. How dare you have it and we don't have it? And it's dangerous. Oh, you need our protection, And so these are contracts that are coming up right now, personal contracts, but a lot of group contracts where the group, the family, the town, it didn't, nobody could stand up for what was right and true. And those who did got persecuted, and they had to watch it. They had to watch and realize how they were losing their spiritual light of the community because they didn't stand up, weren't able to, and it's like, yeah, this is all about, how we get through this, dark time of learning all this stuff that's coming to the surface, right? No more deception, no more lies. It's all got to be revealed. And it's hard to look at, but the way we get through it is through compassion, self-compassion, forgiveness, right? And yet there's this uncomfortable thing that needs to be resolved with these contractual arrangements where you agreed to make them feel more comfortable, to not live in your truth and in your power, and play small. And we all do it subconsciously. And that might start to be revealed to you. Like, what does it feel like when you turn it down? Because a lot of the pain and emotional energies that the supernova soul deals with has to do with turning your light down. It's like pressure. You don't even know you're doing it. You didn't even know you had it. And this Mars-Venus conjunction right there in the sky in front of our eyes, in the crescent moon, the brand new crescent moon, it takes a couple days for the moon to come back in the sky, but it's going to be right by Mars and Venus. And it's a beautiful, powerful message. Like, let's reach out above this, expand into, just get one little taste of the bigness of the truth of who you are. And your life is completely different, right? And all that has to do with, so going back to the suppression of technologies and all the lies is just to make sure that we don't know about this technology, because when we do, we'll be able to remember and access it within our very own body, right? So think about this. We've got all this control mechanisms out there using microwaves and elaborate, spraying of things and all this to control the weather. And what if our consciousness and our heart and our light body, our energetic fields can create, as an alignment, it's like creates the optimal. We don't need to burn down the West. Like, you're no longer in charge. Now we remember we have the technology and we're in alignment. See, this is the supernova soul. Part of the reason you played so small is because you couldn't play so dirty and you trusted, because that's who you are. This is humanity's problem right now, trusting people that cannot be trusted. And then now it all has to be revealed And it's that painful place of facing the deception and lies. But this is the energy. The message, the theme of this video today was almost like no more deception, because it just can't hold. And are you ready for all this to be revealed? And maybe we have to face within us some dark stuff in our deep subconscious that happened to us that was so painful that we had to just completely shut away, but it's closed down our heart, right? Now, the heart, the human heart, is a mystical, magical, we talk about this higher level intuitive technology. The heart is key, but supernova souls have been locked under lock and key in their heart. And this astrology is saying it's time to come back to love, the cosmic love that you are. Also relationships. Supernova souls, so many are so alone and feeling so abandoned, and yet yearning deep inside. You came here to work in love. You can't do that. You can do it alone to a certain extent, right? But it's like you came here for that divine union expressed in this physical world. The divine union of sacred relationship is about two coming together and creating way more of the parts. It's like this big gift to humanity of energy and service and demonstration of what's possible and harmony. So it's time to find each other and get together. And this Mars Venus is like, we're here to love. We're here to work through love. This is the energy of Leo. Shine our light, express our God self, and do it together in this divine union, the binary solar system of just perfect balance between the masculine and the feminine. That's alchemical. So when you have that and you're around a soulmate relationship of people that really love each other and are devoted to this love, to this cosmic love that's expressed this way, you feel at peace. You feel like in this harmony, this beautiful gift. What would this world look like if you guys could find each other and get together with your soulmates and finally start loving on the level that your heart has a capacity to do? We got to break down those chains, and we got to clear out these deep traumas that we haven't been able to even access, And so this is a call to supernova souls to, instead of this whole thing of like, well, I can do it alone, and I don't want to. I keep getting manipulated. I keep getting betrayed. I just do it alone. I'm fine. I'm fine by myself. I'm happy alone, right? And it's like, you didn't come here for that. You came here to be the living, breathing example of divine union and create this energetic field. And we do it together in groups, but also in those intimate relationships, and this perfect balance, opening the heart. So the way that you activate this incredible mechanism of our heart chakra power, is through healing the feminine and the masculine within and their relationship to each other, right? It's like we've been in a bad marriage and we've been fighting against within, in this duality within. And so now we're being invited back into the sacred marriage within. And it's like this picture of like, what would this world look like if these supernova souls that have huge capacity to love, but have never had a safe, comparable relationship? It's like, is it even possible? But that's what you have. It's in your birth chart. I see it again and again. Supernova souls, it's like you want to work in conscious spiritual relationship. It's something you came here to do. So how do we find each other? Because there's so much programming. You have to understand that at the last shift of ages, with the explosion of the Christ consciousness, there was a very deliberate silencing and separation contractual arrangements that you agreed to. You said, I'll silence myself, I'll hide myself, I'll go away from my people so that we can be safer. So those contracts need to be reevaluated. You were buried in the ground with the secret teachings, right? Oh, that has a lot to do with what we're talking about here with the sacred union. And isn't that interesting? Because Black Moon Lilith on the 19th of July will move over into the sign of Gemini. Then we're talking about the dark side of the moon according to the voice and the message and the communication. And those secret teachings all had to do with the feminine mysteries. And so, wow, it's time for the voice of the Great Mother to be heard again in this world. And isn't this a beautiful example of that? And so the cultures that had to disperse, those Essene groups, and that we were all a part of as supernova souls, they're way ahead of their time, very Aquarian in this egalitarian way that they ran their communities. And what was really important was the leadership was always a man and a woman, and often a couple, right? And like with this perfect balance. And so men would do, there wasn't like, okay, this is what men do, this is what women do. It's like everybody did everything, but there was this beautiful reverence for the masculine and the feminine in their true divine expression, and then a practice of that through relationship and through the leadership in the tribe. Now, we all have masculine and feminine within, right? No matter what your body, what your orientation, what your past life story, what your color of your skin, we've all got it. And so when we can attain this perfect union, then you can, open that heart back up. But we have to understand that we made so many contractual arrangements about keeping our tribe safe by separating and dispersing. And so now it's like, wait a minute, but this is a big part of the bigger part of who I am, is to have this conscious relationship experience. And so what's in the way? It's time to reevaluate those contracts, because now it's time to come together. It's urgent. This is what we're here to do. We can activate that higher intuitive power together so much easier, because spiritual ascension, it's contagious. A light body, it's contagious, way more contagious than, no wonder they don't want us. They want us 6 feet apart, right? And so what's in the way? What's in the way of your heart and our hearts opening to each other and coming back into the sacred work as a gift, in our service, in that full expression, that full love, that you have so much within you. And this Leo is extracting it out, saying, get over it. See yourself as part of this oneness and start to live in that paradigm. And then it's interesting, because after this new moon, the moon will go on, and then the sun, to trine up with Neptune. Super sweet. It's like dreamy energy. And then oppose Pluto. And how crazy that Neptune and Pluto are in a sextile relationship right now, 2 degrees apart, but close enough for us to feel this. Creative solutions. It's almost like a council coming together. And Pluto in Capricorn is like the structures of power. And then Neptune in Pisces is a Piscean age, this oneness, but it's also like the structures of power use that oneness principle in order to control humanity through religious constructs. And so, wow, how about we go into the higher octave of these planetary expressions now, right? Like Pluto and Capricorn it's about our taking back our own autonomy everywhere that we agreed that there was some sort of authority outside of ourselves. Now, you as a supernova soul were punished for your light, and persecuted. And who did that punishing? It was made out to be a servant of God, somebody higher than you, somebody more evolved than you, right? And it's like, these are some weird shape-shifting reptilians. No, we no longer consent, like we know who we are now. And this is this claiming of this autonomy. And so what a sweet sextile relationship. It's like, okay, the mystical spiritual revelation, that's in our heart as a soul memory. It's ours. And we're taking it back from the power structures. We're going to bust out of this lower matrix duality, divide and conquer, and love our way through it, and love our way back to God consciousness, and love our way back to a full expression. So how do we get back to our life force? How do we get into the Aquarian age? How do we evolve humanity? Shine your light, like just a little piece of your full expression is just so profound, right? Like you have been kept in a narrow cage, and now the doors are opening. And are you ready to be free and claim your own autonomy? Supernova souls, you got this, because um, all those religious stories and condemnation and judgment and all that, it doesn't fit who you are. Like, as an advanced soul, you've had prior experiences before you came to Earth. That means you had a purified astral body. If you were only just through this Earth evolution, that would take lifetimes of meditating in a cave, right? But you came in with that already. And then you got all sullied up and dirty and you bought into it. And this is where this Black Moon Lilith at the end degrees of Taurus is like, come on, girl, get up out of that gutter. You got it. We've all got it. Do you deserve it? Can you own it? It's time to come into our own abundance. And we can't do that while we have any shame. And all goes back to these feminine mysteries and the female and the darkness and sexual energy, which is the power of the universe, being distorted and stuck in the lower chakras and condemned and shamed. So much elaborate programming and propaganda has gone into disconnecting us from this life force power. And we're claiming it back. But there's some shadowy stuff we gotta face in this great cleansing. The Great Awakening is a great cleansing, So no more deception. It's all coming to the surface. No more lies. We cannot move into the Aquarian age with this deception. And it's just no longer appropriate. So we're looking at a great reveal. And this is individually as we find those subconscious programming within us, but finding that compassion, finding that forgiveness. Yes, we were all persecuted. And maybe that is so hidden within you that you didn't even know you identified with that story because it's so painful and your soul just shut down there. But now we need wholeness. So we got to go and be like, all right, that was some really bad shit and nobody was willing to save me from it. But I'm here now. And I'm claiming back my power. They can kill me lifetime after lifetime, but they can't steal your soul power. It only gets stronger. And now's the boomerang, right? Your superpowers. And they're hidden underneath that trauma that's been so deeply suppressed you didn't even know it was there, but keeps pulling you under. And this compassion and love of this new moon in Cancer, opening to us coming back into a relationship with our mother, the great mother, the 5D earth, that's holding us and enveloping us as we move through this experience, a completely different relationship than the 3D earth. And so that's opening up to us and inviting us to shine. And then as we express a little bit more of our potential, then we can come even more into that nurturing and compassion, forgiveness place. Because the ecstatic experience of you expressing your full potential makes all that dark shit go away. It's like, oh, well, that happened, but it was totally worth it. And I'm not going to stay there. Victim is part of the first stage, right? And then you get that righteous anger and you pull yourself out of there and you say, no more. And this is where we're at. And you're leading the way, Supernova. Thank you so much for being here and being so brave and so strong to make it through all you've made it through. And are you ready to receive your own abundance? And what if it's 7 times what's been stolen from you? So maybe you would like to consider joining the Cancer New Moon activation. It's happening in 2 hours from this live broadcast at noon Mountain Time in the US on Friday, July 9th. And if you can't make the live, just know that we're working outside of time. It's a guided meditation, about an hour. And we talk through the astrology a little bit and what's coming up for the activation today. Is this divine union, these authority contracts, these contractual arrangements around you playing small, and a beautiful opportunity for us to get information, healing insights that can help us claim back our love, the abundant love that we're made from and we came here to express. And this magical heart, mystical activation. So I hope you'll consider joining. And if you can't make the live, just know that it's encoded, the energy is encoded in the experience. And so go catch it in your time whenever you can. Just the link to sign up will take you right to the replay right after the event. So it's right there for you when you're ready and you can be in that energy with us. And when you come and bring your energy, it strengthens the field, gives us all more confidence in these steps of coming forward into more of our full expression, more of our potential. And so I really appreciate you being there and bringing your energy. So I look forward to seeing you there or on the next update. The information is to sign up is in the information box below. So we'll see you soon there. Have a wonderful weekend. Really try to consciously feel into this Venus-Mars conjunction. What does it mean for you? What's blocking your heart? Where is your love? It's been outside of yourself, or is it within? And are you ready to celebrate that in a real world way as the demonstration project? So thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you soon on the activation or the next update. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.